this meme I posted, I talked to you about it before. Let's say there are 1,000 buyers who can afford a home with a 3% mortgage, 800 buyers who can afford it at 4%, and only 600 buyers who can afford it at 5%. Well, none of this matters when there are only 100 homes for sale. Good morning, empowered investors. Today we have a 10th episode show for you. It's number 1850. We're getting near 2000, aren't we? Episode number 1850. And our guest today will be Dr. Alok Trivedi. Yes, he is known as Dr. Rewire. As we talk about general life success, that's what we do on our 10th shows. We talk about something of general interest, and he will be with us in a few minutes. But first, we've got a few things to cover. Just quickly on the market and on a client case study, sort of a very abbreviated one. We do long client case studies where they come on the show and they talk to us for a half hour, 45 minutes, tell us all about their experience and so forth with their investments, the good, the bad, the ugly, the things they've learned, the lessons they've learned. But today, I just want to share with you some numbers, just some client experience numbers here. So this client is our client, Brandon. And no, it has nothing to do with the Joe Biden meme, let's go Brandon, but boy, that one kind of faded, didn't it? Unfortunately, it did sort of fade. Probably the big tech companies suppressed it because, hey, if you say that on your show, then they're going to deplatform you, or they're not going to show your show, or if you post it on Facebook, they're not going to show it to anybody, right? So we all know that they show it to like 3 people to make you think that it just wasn't interesting to people. What a scam. Ghost posting, right? Anyway, so this is a performa, and here is a property that Brandon purchased. And this was November of 2019, Ocala, Florida, one of the big markets for us, November of 2019, Ocala, Florida. Oh, by the way, one of my guests who is coming up on a show taught me how to use this cool laser pointer feature. And I'm going to teach you right now because it's really neat. Now, where is it? Okay, more. I guess you click on, oh, I can't find it. Oh, laser pointer, here it is. So look at this. Oh, wow, that is so cool. If you're watching on video, you can see how cool that laser pointer is. That's a feature in Google Slides, very neat. So purchased it November 1st, 2019, Ocala, Florida, and let's look at what happened. So this property was purchased for $231,900, it was purchased for $149,900. And at the time of this performa, which by the way was in January, because I presented this in Houston at a conference I was speaking at, and it was worth at that time $231,900. So it's probably worth a little more now. I'll estimate that this property is worth about $240,000 to $245,000 now, but I haven't checked. Actually, it might be worth even more than that, even $250,000 or even a little more. But anyway, $231,900 at the time I presented it. So you see the difference here. Now, this is really important. When you use Property Tracker, and by the way, you can go get a free account. Just go to propertytracker.com. You can do all of these great performas yourself. And I just want to tell you, back in 2004, when I started using this software, this is one of the things that really helped me become a very good, very analytical investor. When you put in the numbers yourself, right, you really understand it better. There's an old saying about how we learn by doing, right? And this great Dennis Waitley poem, he says, I can watch your hands in action, but your tongue too fast may run. So there's a big difference between someone telling you something, which, hey, that's fine. But when you actually do it yourself, you learn so much more effectively. And we have free accounts available for you, totally free, 100% free, no strings attached. Go to propertytracker.com and get yourself a free account and use this awesome software to help you analyze deals. In all my years of doing this, I have not found a better piece of software for deal analysis. Now, I will admit that on the tracker side, there's sort of 2 components to this software, the property analysis side and the property tracking side. It is called Property Tracker after all. There are some softwares that have definitely beat it on the tracker side that do more things in terms of like property management. This isn't really a property management program. It does do a good job of tracking and accounting, but that's included in some of the management software. So there are some better options for that out there, and I've presented them on my Rent YouTube channel, which is Real Estate News and Tech, RENT. It's an acronym, obviously. And so check those out there. And we talk about them sometimes in our monthly Inner Circle calls, which, by the way, the Empowered Investor Inner Circle has a new name. It's now called Empowered Investor Pro. So just want to let you guys know that, because we're upgrading some of the features and doing a huge overhaul and upgrade to the social networking site. Really cool stuff coming. You're going to see it really soon. It's almost ready for launch. So more to come on that. But anyway, go get yourself a free property tracker account so you can type in the numbers yourself and you can see the effect of them. When you change one number versus another number, how does it affect the overall return on investment? How does it affect the cash on cash return, the cap rate, the gross rent multiplier, all of that stuff, right? What if you change the interest rate, the property appreciation projections, the management fee, the maintenance cost? All of these things really have an effect, and you can see how they impact the bottom line differently depending on the metric. And not the least of which, of course, the debt coverage ratio. Okay, another metric not too many people except lenders ever talk about. Okay, so anyway, one of the things we will not allow our partners, our local market specialists, our clients that are selling properties to do when they upload properties to our website at jasonhartman.com is we will not allow them to use a different purchase price here than the initial market value. Even if the property is below market, and it may be, I mean, that's sort of not always easy to determine exactly, right? Because remember what I say, the ultimate appraisal is when there's a meeting of minds between a ready, willing, and able buyer and a seller, right? That's the ultimate appraisal when those two come together, right? Everything else, income approach, cost approach, comparison approach, the three approaches to evaluating properties, those are all an opinion, right? They're a bit subjective, even though they may seem analytical. They are subjective to some extent, one degree or another. But the ultimate appraisal is when a buyer buys the property and closes on the deal, okay? So anyway, we don't allow them to make these prices different, but now with this, we are looking in hindsight. So this is no longer subjective, it's objective, because we know what Brandon paid for the property and we know what the current market value is, right? And by the way, this is out of date even, so it's higher than that now. All right, so these are the numbers, and it's really good to look back and use this as a rear view mirror pro forma, not just a forward facing pro forma for a 1-year projection. See, at the top of this sheet, this segment of Property Tracker is called the 1-year projection, right? It's a projection, and projections are just that. They're an estimate of the future, they're a prediction, and they may not come true, or they may do better. They may do better, they may do worse. Nobody knows, right? Because you're looking to the future. But this is looking in the past. So this ought to be called the track record of actual performance. Okay, that's what it is. We're using it in a different way than it's usually used. So look at the total return on investment here. 246%. Wow. That was the period from November 1st of 2019 to January of 2022. A 246% return on investment. Wow. That is just phenomenal. And this is because income property is that beautiful multidimensional asset class where you earn your return on investment from many different ways. And I know this might seem extraordinary, incredible, unrealistic, but don't take my word for it. Do the numbers yourself. Go to propertytracker.com, get yourself a free account. It's 100% free. And just do these numbers yourself. And if you don't believe the software, You can actually just do the math by hand. You can use what I love, the good old-fashioned HP 12C calculator. I know some of you don't know what that is. You weren't even born when that calculator was invented. But us old timers, we love the HP 12C. It is the awesome calculator, but you can use a regular calculator on your phone or whatever. You can do these numbers by hand, right? You don't have to trust the software, right? Just do them by hand. And you'll see that these numbers are real. They are realistic. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about inventory real quick, and then we'll get to our 10th episode guest, Dr. Elu Trivedi. So this meme I posted, I talked to you about it before. Let's say there are 1,000 buyers who can afford a home with a 3% mortgage, 800 buyers who can afford it at 4%, and only 600 buyers who can afford it at 5%. Well, none of this matters when there are only 100 homes for sale. That was the original post. And inventory, which I'm about to show you some charts on that, ticked up a bit with the higher interest rates. So I crossed out the 100 and I put 120. Still a massive inventory shortage, right? And here's how that looks, okay? At the beginning of the year, we started off with about 293,000 homes for sale. By the way, National Association of Realtors publishes these numbers. They calculate it differently. Their number is different. All I want you to do is use an apples to apples comparison. So if you use one stat in January and one at the end of the first quarter and one today, just use the same stats, okay? But I don't like the way NAR does it. I like the way Altos does it. So that's why I'm using their numbers, because I think they're more accurate. So 293,000 homes, and then inventory actually went down at the end of the first quarter to 241,000 homes. But what is it doing now? That's the question. Now, at the beginning of the year, as I've been talking about this, I said, look, it's like going into the supermarket and seeing 66 to 80% of the shelves empty, because that's the inventory shortage we have. The inventory should be 300 to 500% higher than it is currently to have a quote unquote normal market. Just normal. Not a glut of inventory, not an oversupply. That would be considered normal. Just to get to normal, we need the numbers to go 3 to 5x, 3 to 500% of what they are now. But inventory has risen a bit. So are we at an inflection point? Are we at a turning point? Well, let's take a look. Right now, well, not right now, but the last published one, okay, which was about 6 days ago on the 25th of last month, okay, 344,000 homes. That's a big spike, okay? It's up 8%. 8% increase in inventory from the week prior, but overall, compared to the end of the first quarter, 100,000 homes higher. That's a lot, but it's still not even close to where it needs to be to have a normal market. What is normal? Depends who you ask. But 6 months of supply of inventory is what most would consider a normal market. With the given absorption rate and the given inventory, it takes 6 months to eat up that inventory, right? That's what most would consider about normal. What does that mean in terms of numbers? Well, it means anywhere between about 900,000 and 1.5 million homes for sale. So you can see we are still in a massive inventory shortage, massive shortage. It is going up. Now, we'll watch the numbers closely. We'll report on them for you. And I don't think they're going to go up to normal levels anytime soon. But remember, even if they go up, even if they increase by 300 to 500%, it's only going to be normal. It's not going to be exceptional, right? I mean, look at 2015 when homes were selling like hotcakes and we were complaining. Listen, go back and listen to my old podcast episodes, okay? Go back and look what I posted on social media back then. Look at my Twitter account at Jason Hartman ROI. You can't look on Instagram because I wasn't doing it back then, but you can look on Facebook, okay? And you can see all of the postings I made about this stuff at the time. Contemporaneously, right? So they're all date stamped. You listen to the old podcast episodes. You hear all this stuff. We were complaining like crazy in 2015 that we did not have enough inventory of homes to sell. And that was true because when you segment For the entry-level market, this inventory shortage is dramatically worse. It's dramatically worse. This is not price segmented. This is just overall inventory. So it includes $1 million homes, $800,000 homes, $3 million homes, $5 million homes. Everything's in here. It's all in one mix. But if you looked at the inventory numbers for $200,000 homes, oh my gosh, it would be like this. Pretty darn low. Okay, pretty darn low. All right, let me announce the winners of our giveaway for last week. I didn't do that on Monday, so here it is. So Ryan Klein won the YouTube comment. $50 Amazon gift card goes to Ryan Klein. Claim your prize at jasonhartman.com/ask. And by the way, if you have a question, go there too. Looking forward to Empowered Investor book. Oh, Ryan, yes, I gotta, finishing a book is a real chore. But yes, I'm looking forward to it too, Ryan. I can't wait till it's finished. So thank you for your comment, and you have won. So congratulations. Okay, now for the Apple Podcast review, it's Smurf Dog. Okay. I used to have a friend in high school, and her last name was Murphy, and I called her Smurfy. She liked it. It was cute. It was like a little loving thing. Anyway, so Smurf Dog, you won valuable content. I've been listening to Jason for years and still find every episode full of content that has been invaluable to my real estate investing. His tangents are amazing too. Yeah, okay, I'll take it. My tangents, yep. I'm going to keep doing it. For a long time, I thought, I got to shut up and stop with the tangents. But then you all keep telling me you love them, so I keep doing them. I'm here to respond to market demand. We are here to please. And whatever you want, we're going to do it for you, because this is a marketplace of ideas, and we respond to consumer demand. Okay, let's get to our guest, Dr. Alok Trivedi, and let's talk about rewiring your brain. This is a really good interview, folks. I think you're really going to enjoy it and get a lot out of it. So here we go.